and welcome back to the desk for our final game of this week 2 of the Winter Split, Team Fnatic versus Heretics. And we're gonna do the draft here on this side of the studio with you guys.
Lovely.
Lovely.
Wow.
Yay.
Exciting.
Yay. Exciting. Exciting because there's a lot to say about this team that have been underperforming, I would say. We talked about Fnatic and Reddit and how the roster doesn't match the expectations we had coming into the split, let's say. But what about Heretics?
I mean, I think Heretics was kind of the roster that, in my expectation, I could see them be top 6 and try and get move on further from that. Like, top 8, top 6 is where I think they would be quite comfortable. I think it's important to realize as well that, you know, I think it would take some time to really get the gel going between some of these players. And I think for me, it's like you have Peter Dunn, you want to develop them, but it seems like we're already into the draft. And the first thing I just want to pay attention to so far is Fnatic has been very adamant, and I said this yesterday as well, very adamant at using majority of their bans purely on bot laners and set their own bot lane up for success. So I wouldn't be too surprised if Delusion is not the only kind of bot lane ban we'll be seeing.
And Ash is following up.
Yeah, probably they will ban Yuumi. I'm kind of curious what happens with Fnatic if they are faced with a Varus ban, because I think if Ash is out, Yumi's out, Lucian's out, what is going to happen in a case where Varus is out too, because it's been the go-to for Reckless, of course, and then Jack Spectra maybe has more room to pull out the champs that are like Kalista and Draven, which he really, really enjoys, and that can create a lot of volatility around bot. Kind of hoping Team Heretics go for the Varus ban on 3, maybe they invite the Rides, because Ruby can play Cassia into it, and then we'll just see after what happens. I think a Yuumi ban. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, there you have it. It's a classic, and I think as well, just from going off what we saw Reckless on yesterday as well, like coming through with that Varus, he looked very comfortable on it, had the solo kill on Patrick, and I also think that just in general, it's just a really cookie-cutter clean AD carry to get in this meta. You never really struggle, you get decent laning phase, and the scaling is up to par with you as well. So let's see if Heretics goes through with your call here, Yamato.
Yeah, Rise or Varus, I guess will be the question. Oh, Sejuani instead, okay.
So what do you open with here?
I think Varus first pick, you just have to.
There you go.
I think it's such a simple way of having a bot lane that's going to be consistent, and that's been the main question mark for Fnatic. Make sure that the bot lane is consistent and they get to the point.
Oh, there we have it!
He doesn't miss. Not a single time.
Does not miss. Yeah, because Ante not banned either, so there's an opportunity later to do that. And 3, I don't suspect we'll see it in the first rotations. Usually we see AD carry be paired up with a jungler to come through as well, and the jungle pool is being diminished as well.
Zeri, but no Yuumi then. Lulu?
Lulu could still be available. It is usually the bot lane we see, Yuumi and Sivir, usually the two we pair together, and then you get the Zeri and the Lulu together down there. Could be a reason to already take away the Lulu, because Lulu Varus is actually quite potent as well if you want to go down that route, but they're securing the Wukong on Jankos with already 2 junglers banned away.
I wonder here if Fnatic are going to drop support to just invite the Lulu and then just play an all-in support for Rux in the shape of Leona, Nautilus, and Momo, because I think that's where he's going to be super comfortable. Maybe just lock in your Azir or your Ryze and then your jungle, drop support together with top and hope that you get the K'Sante invitation to then counterpick it, because I think that's such a powerful part about the red side, but Team Heretics really like the K'Sante, so.
Yeah, another player I think has really been shining on Heretics very quietly though has been Ruby. I think him on Control Mages has actually had some phenomenal highs, and especially on DSC as well. So you're put in this position now where it's like, well, you have to decide. Do you go for some of the supports and wait for that to be trimmed out? Or do you value the fact that, you know, if you're not picking a Seer here on 3 for Ruby into the Rise, it's going to be banned away and Ruby will come through with the Seer.
But then you have issues pairing Zeri with a viable support maybe?
I think the main question will be now if Fnatic recognize that they have to remove Renata and Braum, because if Team Heretics want to last pick support and they're going to challenge Rux in terms of what he's going to be playing, if he's put on a range support again, I feel like that doesn't really follow the line of thinking that Fnatic kind of approached the previous game when they had the Nautilus and had more success with that.
Of course, Gragas is out.
Yeah, so
you don't want to let Wonder.
I mean, you're not going to let Wonder get that on weak side, especially if you know that Heretics want to come through with a 4th pick on the support. You know you're not going to have that counter pick on top side. So just taking away some of the weak siders here is a good decision. And Renata, as you already mentioned, has been banned away. I'm still expecting Lulu to come through as the last base ban, just to come through for the side of Fnatic to really take away all the good lane parents that you would usually see on the side of a Zeri.
Yeah, I think the danger still is, like, if they really want to go for the melee support, I think they kind of want to invite the Lulu. I think that the Braum is what becomes dangerous there on 5 if they pick it. Team Heretics, with this Gragas ban, I think they might just look for a Jax on 4, and if Jax gets banned, just pick K'Sante right after that and 5 pick support.
Lots of power picks still available as well, and lots of theories being thrown out of the room here, so really up to Fnatic to see which one of them is going to stay above the water. It's actually going to be the Jack.
Yeah.
So that comes through the thought process that you're kind of allowing there as well, Yamato, with some of these champions still being available. Of course, both Cassante and Lulu now available if that's what you're really looking for, and really up to Team Heretics to see where did they put that counter pick position, and it is going to go all the ways down to the support pick.
And we saw a lot of answers to Cassante, so which one is Fnatic going to take here?
I think we probably will see a Gwen. Wunder really likes the Gwen, and we saw it do super well in the previous game. It's a classic that Wunder likes to go to. Maybe he goes for just a little tank to keep it simple, but
It is.
maybe just a Gwen, a Leona to round it off. The enemy is going to buy MR, but that's perfectly fine. You allow it.
Ooh.
If you go for the hard engage option, though, that is where you might find the disengage to come through with the Braum as well, to have that availability on 5 as well. Question is now, what do you feel like that Reckless wants to pair up with the Rocks? Because you have the hard engage options. You already have some decent hard engage to come through as well. Leona, though, is a power pick from Rocks. We saw it how he performed on it on Worlds as well. It was one of his comfort picks. It has been for the longest times as well in the ERLs too. And now it's really on Heretics. Do you just say, all right, we'll try and go into it with the hard engage to come through? Or do you feel like you want to go for the disengage with a Braum on 5?
It has to be Braum. Braum is so good here. Gwen can fight back, of course, but Braum is so good into all of the champions that are being shown here. There's no other option. This is such a juicer here on 5 pick.
Bro, are you a coach or something?
Unemployed.
Really?
All right.
So where we want to keep our eyes on here when you think about the first levels, and what is going to be the central point here for this draft?
Like in my mind, when I look at Fnatic, I think that the pairing of Leona, Ryze, and Vi together can definitely cause some serious damage in the early game. If they can leverage how strong they are on side, maybe they can create advantages for Gwen so she can then carry the later parts. But Team Heretics have a very easy front-to-back composition that is a good recipe to follow if you are one of the underperforming teams.
Yeah, exactly. I think there's a clear identity as well from the side of Heretics. You can play around some of the spacing. You have the Azir with the longer range to pair as well. And it's really on Fnatic to find a point of attack. And then with the Braum as well, with the disengage that you have in your kit on the side of Heretics, you want to kite back into it. So those are the two intricacies we have between the two compositions against one another.
And when you look at these two teams in a more psychological aspect, the fact that Heretics haven't been performing so well, that Fnatic is struggling as well, what are the expectations for this game here?
Like in my mind, ease of execution goes such a long way, and I think Team Heretics have just such a simple way to victory. Just group up, stabilize, and just play front to back. I think Fnatic here needs to play in a more intricate and detailed manner, and I think with how yesterday looked, it's hard to expect that they're going to be super precise and bounce back after such a devastating win. It's a weird thing to say.
Yeah, but that's what happened. It was a weird win, but we are ready for our final game of the week, Team Heretics versus Fnatic, so let's hit the rift.
Sounded a bit like one of my streams there, with the EDM in the background. It's like what I'd like to listen to. You know, pumping electronic music.
Okay.
Good for workouts, too.
Thanks for that insight, Medic.
Well, you would know if you watched my streams, but I know that you tend to avoid them.
True. I'm a big Cadro fan.
You mean Pedro? Watching him be scared in Alien Isolation is one of my most fun things I do. Anyway, League of Legends is happening. Fnatic versus Team Heretics. And Heretics are actually able to sneak in towards this red buff area. Humanoid was shadowing, but not covering fully, and it looks like Fnatic might just be giving this one up. Realizing that... Well, I don't know they know. They've had no vision on Heretics the entire time, so maybe they're just guessing.
Whoa, what is that Leona skin?
Is that a Winter Blast one? Oh, no, is it...
I've never seen that one before.
Oh, it could be High Noon Chroma, but I don't think it is.
No, there's no shot.
It's not High Noon.
Actually, maybe. Oh, maybe.
Right, someone from production can tell us.
Someone will tell us. Anyway,
I do love it because I want to play it now. On my stream.
Fun chat. It's really cool. I think I'm not watching. Okay, I've got a cast LEC around. I had a point. Oh, melee sports. That's what I'm excited to see. Yeah, melee sports. These are fun. One of the things that I think that we've had concerns about when it comes to Rux is he's looked at his best when he's been able to actually find champions that have the ability to start fights and engage. Basically, he can roam, be proactive, and I think that Leona Varus is a very powerful and potent duo. it gives you a lot of agency, especially around level 2, level 3. And it's this fight for level 3 that you're seeing both teams. Heretics will be the first to secure it, will bully them back. So the lane kind of going as expected. Reckless and Rux weren't quite able to get it. They should be able to get it. Nope. They are very close though. Yep, they are just out of range. So Heretics doing a great job. Meanwhile, we did see Razork start bot, path top, do a full clear. Now he's pathed back towards the bot side. We'll be walking over some wards, so Jankos has a good idea of where he is at right now. Bit of trading happening on the top side of the map. Fun fact, Ebi, 6 games of Cassante.
And he's won 2 of them. Yeah. Which is bolstering European Cassante win rate by quite a lot.
Yeah, I think he has like 50% of the wins in Europe.
It might be more than that. It might be like
I think I read the stat was 4 and 15.
Yeah, okay.
It may have been updated since I don't know if the last game was counted, but...
It is the High Noon. It's the Sapphire Coma.
Oh, there you go.
I know my Leona skins as Jankos waits here for Razork. Does have a red buff to Razork's only blue. Gonna jump in with a Nimbus Strike. Gets a bit of damage down. Dashing forward as well with the decoy, but won't be able to do too much more. But it keeps Razork from ganking his bot lane, which was the entire intent of his stay down towards this bottom side of the map.
Did limit and offer protection, as you rightly said. Jankos now needs to go re-clear back to the top side. We'll secure the scuttle though, look for a reset. Oh, this would be a great opportunity for Jankos to get good damage onto Humanoid because deciding against it. But because he's just TP'd back into lane, if you could suddenly chunk him out and then Ruby can go back, TP back into the lane, then he has a huge health advantage.
Yeah, and you can see Humanoid stepping forward here, trying to trade onto Ruby because Razork's working his way up towards the Scuttle Crab. Jankos doesn't have Smite, Razork does.
Oh, now he does.
And Razork will secure it. So Humanoid there doing favors to his jungler. Razork's now going to try and step in, and Razork actually on the favorable side of these trades now because he's got that Ruby Crystal, which means he's ever so slightly healthier than his counterpart in the jungle. He decides against going any further.
Okay. Jankos, of course, did start with the bot side clear. Now he needs to head back up towards the top side of the map.
Oh, level 1 Krugs. Oh, so tasty.
Yeah, it's a bit of an awkward pathing here for Jankos, but not the end of the world. Razork will begin his second clear. There is a bit of information on the bot side of the map that red ward spots out that the Raptors have respawned, but there's not much that Jankos can really do off the back of it. So far, everything going kind of stock standard for both these teams. And as a reminder, we talk about the format a lot. We have to keep reminding you because it's new. Hang on, hold my breath for a second. Spot lanes were looking for something, decided not to commit for anything other than a bit of poke. But yes, of course, our regular season lasts 3 weeks. 9 best of 1s, then we move to best of 3s. Top 8 qualify, 2 teams are eliminated. At the beginning of the split, everyone was expecting those 2 teams to be Astralis, SK, BDS. Right now, Astralis is currently sitting at the bottom alongside...
They're true to form.
Yes,
Astralis 6.
But alongside XL, Fnatic, Heretics, and Koi. It's quite crazy. If we can bring up the standings at any point, production. Only a single win separates Fnatic from XL right now. There's of course this game, and that's why this game is so important for both Fnatic and Heretics in particular, because it's less about being high in the standings, and it's more about separating yourself from the bottom of the pack, right? As long as you're not top 2, you have an opportunity to move into the best of 3s, and then hopefully within that time you can kind of regroup, have an opportunity to fix some issues, and then look better and hopefully qualify then for the top 4. But yeah, both these teams, they're only 1 win above Astralis and XL, who currently sit tied 9th. And the loser here will find themselves at 2 and 4, whereas the winner will be at 3 and 3, and they'll just have that extra bit of leeway that gives them a bit more security.
With the way the league has been going, it looks like it's quite possible a team with 3 wins will actually make it into the top 8. We thought originally 4 was like a cutoff where in the past at the halfway mark, 4 wins has got you in. As Rock's looking for a stun here. Mercer can try and jump back to Ruby, who'll do exactly that, and then Flash Emperor's Revive will lock them away from it. Mercer very low, just surviving.
Heal being used to keep Mercer alive, but just a man invested there from Fnatic as they collapsed onto Mercer as he was just trying to roam up towards mid. Good punishment, though, overall from Fnatic. They were able to convert it into the Scuttle Crab as Jack Spectra pushes out bot lane, looks to reset, spend some of his gold. Overall, though, pretty standard, pretty safe early game, nothing too chaotic from either side. Interesting to see Gwen now getting the push in this 1v1 matchup. Top side, admittedly, Evi hasn't really received that much support from Jankos. Jungler has primarily focused around bot side of the map and the middle. So he kind of has to assume that the enemy jungler is always hovering around and threatening potential kill.
And I think we kind of looked at these drafts and expected a bit of a slower early game, especially with the fact that Heretics were able to get that red invade off. Razork has been...
kind of expected Fnatic to be a little more aggressive when you have Ryze, Vi, and Varus Leona. Like, I feel like that's a bot lane you can play for.
Sure,
you know
but
what I mean?
if your entire bot side of your jungle is stolen away, it becomes a little bit trickier to play down towards that bottom side for Razork. He lost his red and his Razor Beak.
True. And I mean, yeah, I guess there are two ways of looking at it, right? Is Fnatic failing to succeed in their early game planning? Or is Heretics doing a good job of shutting down Fnatic's early game planning, right? And I think that you can make debates on both sides. I think it's very fair to compliment Heretics on being able to steal away that red buff, limit Razork's pathing towards the bot side of the map, and inherently make it harder for Fnatic to find any advantages on the bot side. But this is also where Humanoid becomes a core piece of finding action and success in the early game. He is level 7, has the ultimate available. You get to see any roams come out from him as Heretics start off this Herald. They don't have the push and top, but they don't seem to care.
They've moved the AD carry up just a little bit quick. You can see Jack Spectre here. Wonder is coming across. The eye just popped by Jankos and needs 5 more autos to open up that eye once again. Does have the smite. Only 21 on it though, so a better smite from Razork, and Razork will secure it. The eye sitting there. Wonder trying to get away from this as he pops the needlework, but he's scooped back with the Emperor's Divide, and Wonder will pay for that secure of the Herald with his life.
Oh, okay. Well, I was going to say still overall worth for Fnatic, but Heretics deny the eye, which means that Reckless will secure a plate down in the bot lane. And the kill goes over to Heretics. So I guess overall pretty even trades. Bit of a miss smite there from Jankos. I think I saw something like 30. It was a 2-digit number, but he threw the smite down. Wasn't quite enough damage. Jack Spectre has found Reckless.
Gonna go in with a lightning crash here. Cleanses away the chain of corruption as well. Just trading HP bars there, but piercing arrow just short, just wide there. Would have been a chunk for Jack Spectre. Vox coming in. Now there's no cleanse on Jack Spectre, and there's the power of the sun on the side of that Leona.
I was looking at Humanoid as well. He was threatening a roam, decides to go against it. Razork and Rux have eyes on Jankos, steal away.
Jankos should just be able to walk away from this one.
Thought Razork might commit there, decided not to go all in. Had the ultimate available, but said no, it's fine. I'll just take away more camps. Does have a very tiny gold lead over Jankos. Nothing too significant though. That's kind of just been the story of the first 10 minutes. Bit of dancing, bit of staring awkwardly at each other, bit of trading here and there. Mainly just the murder of poor innocent minions for their plunder.
Do you know they're innocent?
Well, I mean, as far as I can tell, they get paid. They're on their way home from work.
Could also be thieves. Maybe they've stolen that gold.
This debate has gone on for thousands of years, Medic. We won't find the answer today. Let's have a look back at this. So the smite comes down. 137. Ah, okay. Jankos did smite Q. Wasn't enough damage. I think it was like 34 HP. And then Wonder, he's like, hey, I'm out. And then Ruby's like, nope. And Wonder is in fact then not out.
Jankos going to meet up with Razork here. Realm Warp coming in though as Humanoid looks for the chase. Locked down with a cease and desist. The Cyclone clone though knocking up Wonder. Not enough. The all out though will pull Wonder back underneath the tower. 2 tower shots not enough to kill him off. Evie will fall to Humanoid. And Fnatic finally on the board.
Good punish there from Fnatic. We finally get to see an effective roam out from Humanoid towards the top side of the map. And look at this in the mid lane. Reckless and Rux there to catch the wave. Means that Ruby won't be able to push this into too much. But the bot lane, Jack Spectre. Oh, and then the TP out from Humanoid. Okay, great lane assignments there overall from Fnatic. Wonder going to secure another plate. And overall, Fnatic actually ballooning this gold lead. Earlier we were saying that it was a pretty slow early game, not a huge amount being built for Fnatic, but they were getting small advantages. Now they've really ballooned that, in particular in the top lane. Wonder finds himself in a very commanding position. Jack Spectre going to move over to mid, catch this wave. But Fnatic definitely find the early advantages that they were looking for, and this is something that we haven't really seen from them so far this split.
Yeah, they've really struggled in the early game, and often giving their opponents quite a few advantages, but that Humanoid roam there, teamed up with Razork Cease and Desist, was absolutely perfect to shut down Jankos, and now going to get a Dragon off the back of it as well. We've already seen what a Gwen can do into a Cassante in the last game between G2 and Vitality here. Wonder has a 1.2k gold lead. Riftmaker well on his way. And Heretics licking their wounds a little bit. You do have Ruby, who has that Luden's finished. You have Azeri, you have late game. Yamato talked a lot about the power of the Braum into the short range that can come out from Fnatic. So we'll see if Heretics can kind of even things out, equalize things for a little while. If they can keep it stable, maybe they can work towards that scaling.
I would argue that this is the type of deficit you kind of expect.
Yeah.
The drafts like this. If it's even at this point, like it was in the Vitality G2 game, then you're concerned. But to be in this position, I would say, yeah, this is kind of how I expect the game to go, and it really comes down to how like the next few fights play out.
Sure.
Arguably, maybe even the next one. If Fnatic can find another successful fight or another big win, then they can convert that into a big snowball. If Heretics find a big win, then they end up stabilizing and they can buy time, basically slow Fnatic down and reach their power spikes and scaling points. So next few moments are going to determine a lot. I wouldn't be too concerned about this goal difference right now.
Fnatic can be a little bit buoyed by the fact they were able to find those early kills. Black Cleaver for Razork. We do see a lot of Vi's going for the Chempunk Chainsword first item. I like the Black Cleaver as well. You don't really have a huge amount of healing on the side of Heretics that you're trying to mitigate. Only really the Immortal Shield Bolt from Jack Spectre, so the extra armor shred that you get out of it can do a lot of work. A little bit more expensive, but Razork was able to avoid it as Evie tries to get away here. Chain of Corruption will land, but no one really able to get on the tower yet. The needle works, though. The range the Fnatic can play at is absolutely gargantuan as Humanoid tries to escape here and will be able to phase rush his way away. Ruby looking for the final soldier and will secure that kill. 1-for-1 trade, but the tower going over to Fnatic.
Ruby did have to commit the flash, but as you rightly said, Fnatic secure a kill and a tower in top lane. Heretics looking to do the same thing in mid. Of course, that tower is still very healthy. I don't know how quickly that one's going to go down. Lane assignments are a bit awkward right now. You don't really want your AD carry playing into Wonder because it sets up for the play that we saw in top lane. Rux, though, getting the tower. Ooh, hang on a second.
I mean, that was very greedy, Rux. He's going to have to flash away. Even our observers knew it was good. He's like, he's going. He's going to zoom in on him quickly.
Yeah, I think it was... Well, the reason why I think it was a mistake is because the rest of his team wasn't there. I think the idea is because there was no minions.
Yeah, it's
he was like, oh, the tower's still alive. I can CC him under tower. This will be fine because then my teammates will come in a second. But then the tower died, I think, faster than he was expecting. And then he had to flash. Not the end of the world, though. Cadril told me, on a lot of champions, it's better not to have flash because Hex Flash can be a great tool.
Yeah.
Whether that's true for Leona, up for debate, but let's just assume the Rux didn't want his flash and instead prefers Hex Flash.
I think it's fine, you know? 100% win rate on Leona at Worlds.
Yep.
Who are we to doubt this man?
True.
Yeah.
True and based, Medic.
Wonder here in control of that bottom lane was able to just wait out the tower, killing a few minions. He's already killed off one wave. He's going to get a couple of minions from this one as well, and in the end he will secure it. Only the most fed player on his team. And, almost 150 CS and that 2-1-1 scoreline, 2.5k ahead of Ebby as well. Ebby's truly just going to be a CC bot as the fights go on. It can work out, but you can also end up delivering a Gwen to your AD carry, which isn't always the best situation to be in.
True. And based.
Do you just have to say based every time you say true?
Yeah.
Is it just like a rule?
Yeah.
Okay.
Someone just shares a fact with me. My brain goes true and based. And I feel like at some point someone will collect a large sample of me saying true and based and then turn it into a hard style beat.
I mean, I think it's Great British Bake Off style. It's the true. It's the true and based. That one.
Okay, that was the most British thing you've ever said in your life.
I love Great British Bake Off, man.
The only
Massive
thing
fan.
that is more British that you could say right now is I could go for a cuppa.
I could actually. Nice tea right now.
Put the kettle on, turn the heating on, get the duvet. So many British words.
As you might be able to tell, this game hasn't been the pleasure of action that perhaps we were expecting. Team Heretics are setting up around the dragon. The way they will do this is they will step forward, they will get vision control, they'll put the Herald down to make sure this tower dies. They don't currently have mid lane control because As you can see, Fnatic are pushing that wave in. Evi's going to try and stop them, but Fnatic have sacrificed the bottom side of their map to try and get this mid lane tower. The Dragon is up in 2 seconds time, and now Fnatic will use their mid prio to try and walk down here. In fact, they're going to use the realm walk. Mercer a little bit out of position as Chase comes in with the cease and desist. Ruby's going to go in with the Emperor's Divide as well as Razork's locked back without the rest of his team. Razork will fall, but so far it's a 2-for-1 in favor of Fnatic. Wonder now doing some damage, but Jack Spectre with the Lightning Crash is building up those stacks pretty lickety split as he continues to wail away on Rux. Lightning after lightning, not quite enough as Epi on the backline can't die at all, apparently, as he gets double kill. Jack Spectre still trading with Reckless and Rux, and in a 2v1, he might be able to win this one, but instead he jumps away. Long range arrow from Rux, from Reckless, in fact. Oh, he flashes for it! He didn't do the maths.
I mean, still, teamfight won for Fnatic, but Reckless couldn't quite get the tip of the arrow to hit, and Jack Spectre was able to walk away with his life. But overall, great teamfight for Fnatic here. As you rightly said, Medic, Fnatic have to kind of force their way into this fight. They think they can create a collapse, but Heretics have a space with which they can retreat into. Good ultimate from Ruby makes this impenetrable wall that Fnatic can't do anything about, isolating Razork, causing him to lose his life, but then Wonder just dives onto the backline, dishing out incredible damage. And you can see how Ruby's just in a very awkward position. Look at the damage here from Reckless, being sniped from the Q. Ebi is able to get something back at the very least, but again, another quick Q coming out from Reckless means that another kill goes into Fnatic's back pocket, but we're back on the fight.
The players heard us, they keep fighting. Cease and desist once again onto the backline. Ruby has been locked up and taken out by Razork before the fight even really begins. Epi down as well, and Team Heretics have to retreat. Flashes away. Dragon now for Fnatic. The game has come alive.
Back-to-back fights going in favor of Fnatic. It seems that Heretics haven't quite reached that point in the game where they feel strong enough, but also a lot was used. You can see the ultimate not even available for Ruby, not available for Jankos, not available for Jack Spectre. Heretics were just not in a position where they could really fight, whereas Fnatic didn't really need those to find a successful play. Overall, great stuff from Fnatic. They secure another Drake, they secure more kills, and right now, this is looking like a very convincing game for Fnatic. And we talked about it, the early game from Fnatic has not looked good. But with a convincing early game, Fnatic looking much better. The question is, can they convert this now into a big win?
You can see Jankos trying to use the movement speed you get from the blue smite as he comes out of the bushes there. Commonly seen on Wukong for that exact purpose. He keeps trying to run forward here. Does have the smite, can steal this away from Humanoid. I don't think Humanoid, even with that Rod of Ages, will do 1,200 damage, and that's what the smite does for Jankos here. So should just be able to steal away this blue. One more auto. Not smiting it yet. He does take it as Razork comes across the wall.
I think I just heard Mercer say, amazing steal.
Mate, you gotta pick up your friends, man. This is the sort of positive masculinity I'm a fan of.
I can't confirm that that's exactly what I heard, but that's kind of what it sounded like. And I just, I don't know, that, you know, that's wholesome, you know what I mean? Encourage your teammates, you know what I mean? It's good. Lift each other up.
Should do it in cast as well, just like...
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
You do you, man.
That was good, Medic.
That was good, Medic. That was good.
Vedi, your name's Vedi, my name's Medic. I'm just doing it to myself now. It was a long off-season of reminding myself I'm a valid person, you know?
You are valid.
It's true, so are you.
Thanks. I love how we both just acknowledge that we're valid.
Anyway, Jankos now. Oh, is it going to be a good steal again? Or is he going to get caught out? Gets to the blast cone. Razork looks for the cease and desist, but now Razork's in the midst of all of Team Heretics. Jack Spectre with the lightning crash, putting the damage down. The Unbreakable blocks any route for Fnatic to get into the fight, and Razork took a one-way ticket to Pain Town there, and Heretics might be taking a one-way ticket to the Baron.
And look at that, Jankos and Mercer working together beautifully. The flash from Jankos, and Mercer immediately dived into the choke point, threw out his ultimate through the shield up, providing both protection while also making it very difficult for Fnatic to actually follow up. It seems that Heretics are a little concerned about committing to the Baron, but now they will begin. No jungler up, 10 more seconds on Razork. Let's see how quickly Heretics can melt through this objective.
So Ruby still has his ultimate, Ebi has his as well. Mercer's down to 200 HP. The Baron a little bit tankier than perhaps they thought it was. 96 HP Mercer fell down to there. And
you kind of need your jungler to tank it, I feel. The changes that they made to the whole jungle item thing and the reduced damage that you take. Mercer ends up losing his life, and now Fnatic have good position. They have a wave in mid lane. They could threaten the tower. They're not quite... Fnatic can't quite steal away the red buff.
Good secure, Jack Spectre. Gets his red buff.
No, he does. Yeah. Ends up just being a kill trade. Well, not even a kill trade. It just ends up being a kill. Heretics. And both teams now looking to reset. They need to go back, spend some of their gold. You can can see it's Heretics that mainly have vision control around the top side of the map. There is a wave that someone needs to go and catch bot. Wouldn't be surprised. I was going to say to send Ruby down there, given that he does have TP and Baron is the main objective. I actually strongly believe that they should send Ruby down there. Heretics, surely they're not going to threaten a Baron right now. That doesn't make any sense. So the reason why you would typically send Ebby up top and then Ruby down bot is because, well, Ruby has the TP and then Ebby, in the event that a Baron starts from top lane, it's much quicker for him to go bot. Right now, he's just sharing farm with his AD carry. He's currently level 12 to the 13 of Wonder. And that wave on bot lane is just slowly pushing into Heretics' tower. They still haven't sent Ruby down there, which means that this is very easy for Humanoids to just push in that wave. The tower's going to crash. No one is going to catch it. And, like, look at the CS difference between the two top laners right now. Well, that's 45 in favor of Wonder. He's not a fan of these lane assignments. It's just so much farm being lost. And
it's a tier 2 that you're losing as well.
Heretics playing the map very strange. They seem very attached to this vision around Baron. Like, they don't want to concede it. Fnatic is saying, we're really fine.
Okay, they're doing the Baron now. And Wonder has to TP in. But Wonder can get the inhibitor tower before the TP even comes in.
Does he have to TP in?
I mean, eventually you have to feel that perhaps he maybe will.
I don't know if he does. I think that they can just play the patient game here. You can see Wonder is just waiting. Now he feels the pressure.
Okay, 5,000 HP on the Baron. Heretics trying to call Fnatic to the fight. Looking for the engage. Baron secured. Jankos gets it, but now the fight really begins afterwards. Cease and desist from Razork will take out one. Jankos with the Cyclone as well. Ebby trying to get across the wall, but the Rail Warp will chase them. Ebby and Mercer. Well, Ebby's already fallen. Ruby was able to escape with his empowered recall from the Baron. Mercer's not going to have the same luxury as he is chased down. So you get Baron on one, you lose your inhibitor tower. That's
I do not think that was worth it. Heretics were so tunneled on this Baron that they sacrificed 2 towers in bot lane. The fight was awkward because they couldn't really turn, which meant the Fnatic got a bunch of kills. And, like, well, have a look back at this. Look at the ultimate that comes out from Reckless. It lands in such a, an awkward spot for Heretics. So it's straight out to Ebby, and now you've got all these people that need to try and get away from the Varus ultimate. And Ruby's forced to disengage. Jankos is stunned up. Mercer can't really protect anyone. He's just shielding nothing, really. And then the AD carry ends up getting locked down. A very easy fight for Fnatic to play. They're going to convert this into the Dragon. And yeah, okay, they lost the Baron. It will make sieging a little bit harder. But overall, a big blunder there from Heretics, and Fnatic more than happy to take advantage.
That they are. And Heretics now staying down the face of a 5,000 gold deficit. Fnatic in a very strong position to close this one out and get themselves to 3-3. And if we do have a look at the standings, which I believe we have ready, can have a look at what that really means for Fnatic. Now, 3-3, although you don't catch up with G2 and Mad Lions and BDS and SK Gaming, what it does do is it gets you 2 wins away from XL and Astralis. And that means XL and Astralis will have to get 2 wins next week in only 3 games to catch up with you. And so far, they've only managed to get 1 win in 6 games. So the odds are that it's very likely you make it into that top 8.
I mean, it's not only that XL and Astralis have to get 2 wins to catch up to you. You then also have 3 games yourself, and you have 3 opportunities to win as well.
Yes.
Right? So
with the way that Fnatic and Heretics splits have gone, I didn't want to put the impetus on them winning another game after this one.
Okay. Wow.
It has been a struggle at times.
Throw them under the bus like that.
I mean, this game has been a lot better from Fnatic, though. As I say that, Razork has been caught out.
He has? Yeah, that has just happened. It's kind of like... It's interesting how Fnatic punished a massive mistake from Heretics. Now, admittedly, I don't think Heretics is going to gain a massive amount off the back of that. They will get some objective boundaries, but Wonder is just... He's a menace on a side lane right now. He cannot be stopped. TP flank. I don't think they'll kill him. I legitimately think
Wonder can just dash across this wall, and then there's a blast cone there. But Ruby!
Yep.
Back you go, mate.
He just swagged on him. I'm surprised he didn't emote.
Return to sender. He's not 1-1-3, man. Doesn't have them bound to his mouse button.
Fair. That's fair, that's fair. Okay. So, okay, Razork lost his life. Not the end of the world for Fnatic, though. They're still in a very commanding position right now. Baron should be up relatively soon. Can't quite check the timer. There you go, 3 minutes. 3 minutes for the Dragon as well. Which basically means not a lot's going to happen right now. Because there's nothing really for either team to play for. There's no objective to kind of set up. And it's Fnatic that have control over the map, which means that Heretics are just kind of relying on scaling. They're just going to buy time, and unless someone like... makes a mistake, there's nothing that Heretics can really do. So you end up in this pro play state where you end up trading lanes. Ebby can flash in.
Reckless a little bit over there, overextended. Has the Chain of Corruption though, so Heretics won't want to chase this one any further. Ebby TP'd in as well.
Ooh. What?
He's going bot lane, mate.
But he should have gone bot lane first.
Don't question it. Okay, it's 11 p.m. on the third day of the LEC Week 2. We just let the things happen.
We just let them happen.
And we'll, I think like maybe Heretics will call.
Okay, but like it's one of those things where, like, you know, we had that conversation earlier where it's kind of like, I don't know if I should necessarily say the pro player is wrong, because sometimes throughout my career that's bit me. This is wrong, okay? I will die on this sword, okay? Like earlier they should have sent Ruby bot simply because he had TP. He should have caught that wave and Heretics shouldn't have lost that tower. Then just now they should have done the same thing with Ebby because he did have TP, and then he TP'd to mid and now he walks bot. Now admittedly there's no objective on the map for them to play for, but you've just committed your TP. And you know what Fnatic can now do? If we can get rid of the XP for levels for a second, I need to just quickly check if... yeah, so Humanoid and Wonder both have TP. So you know what's going to happen? They have two choices. They can have Humanoid and Wonder actually shadow through bot, and they can have like a 2-3 split, where the 3 members of Fnatic basically just play for mid, keep catching waves, while the bot lane where the other two keep pushing in bot, creating this point of pressure, and then you can like poke and dance around the Baron. Or they can just create a 1-3-1 and kind of force Heretics to split up across the map. And then if they try and answer Wonder on a side lane or Humanoid, you then immediately TP away and force the Baron.
But so that's fine, because Heretics have 2 TPs of their own that they haven't wasted in awkward situations recently. So
I'm upset.
Understandably.
Let's... Okay, so now they're going to send Ebby down bot. So this is a situation where you're forced, if you're Heretics, to concede vision around this objective. Like, you have to, because you're always going to fight in a numbers disadvantage. Fnatic is saying, hey, come and fight us. We'd love to. This sounds great. This also gives a window for Wonder to very quickly push out that top wave. Please don't force them. Okay, nice. They're just trying to catch the wave, which is the best thing you can really do right now. The problem for Heretics is they have control of the bot side, but again, Fnatic are on sole point, which means that they can put Heretics in this awkward situation of, well, you either have to contest the Baron or you have to contest the Dragon. Meanwhile, Wonder's sitting in the side lane, split pushing.
He's running Demolish as well, I think, on this Gwen, as that tower falls down very quickly.
And as a reminder, 2 TPs. Ruby's is up in 5 seconds. The bot wave is in a good spot for Heretics. And now they're looking to have him group up with the team. The TP flank coming in from the Gwen.
Cease and desist onto Jack Spectre. Now Jack Spectre takes Razork the long way around. Lightning Crash coming down as well. Jack Spectre and Razork fighting off towards the top side, but Wonder with that flank is in the perfect position to isolate the AD carry. Jack Spectre tries to dash back across and does manage to make it to his team. He's somehow still alive. He cleanses, he dashes, he dances away. And Jack Spectre survived for long enough for Heretics to win out the fight. That was gorgeous from the Heretics AD carry.
But Heretics actually won that fight. That's unbelievable. Jack Spectre played that about as well as he could. He bought so much time for Heretics to regroup, and Ruby was just able to freely dish out damage. Yamato talked about it on the desk. The whole win condition for Heretics is just group and fight. And this was the first time where they could get a very clean 5v5, effectively front-to-back team fight. But huge credit to Jack Spectre for buying so much time. Now Heretics can just reclaim some control back on the map. They can take away the threat of a Dragon Soul. They can now set up for the Baron. I'm shocked. Yeah, I am shocked that Heretics
Let's have another look, because I was only watching Jack Spectre here. I want to see what happens on the top side as well.
So let's have a look at the fight. So again, great E from Jack Spectre, goes over the wall. He doesn't quite know yet the one that's coming in from behind. Meanwhile, Ebby's just buying time. Humanoid and Reckless are just focusing. They're kind of getting shaken up by Jankos here. Humanoid forced to stop watching. You can see how, like, it's a battle on 2 fronts. Ebby just keeps Reckless completely out of the fight. I imagine he's going to get the kill over on that side. Jack Spectre, meanwhile, he just buys so much time with his mobility. He does end up going down, but Fnatic committed so many resources to getting that kill that Heretics could basically just play the fight the way they wanted to. Beautiful play from Jack Spectre. And he's the reason why they won that fight.
You look at it, Ebby, who is 3,000 gold behind, took out Reckless, who is 1,500 gold ahead at the time. Whereas Jack Spectre dealt with both Razork and Wonder for the majority of the fight. Yes, Ruby and everyone came in to clean it out in the end, but that was actually just absurdly good from Heretics. Perhaps a little bit of an overextension by Fnatic.
Smile.
Smile?
Zeri. Just Zeri
I
things.
mean, yes, but also this isn't Zeri with a Yumi strapped to her back
True,
with an
that
Enchantment.
is true.
Like,
No, I mean, admittedly, he played that. He played that
Vi.
incredibly well. I'm not trying to take
Yeah.
anything away from him. He,
But yes,
Jack
Zeri
Spectre,
smile. I'll give you that.
Jack Spectre definitely he played that about as well as he could have. But it's just the mobility on Zeri that he was allowed to do that. Like, you look at Varus, Kasante got him, and he was just kind of, he was like, well,
I'm in danger.
I've had fun. There's nothing I can do about this.
But now, yeah, Heretics evened out this game just a little bit, 2,000 gold
But
in
I'll
the
tell you
hole.
right now, I still have no idea who is going to win. Earlier, I was pretty convinced that Fnatic couldn't lose this game.
I know how we can tell.
Really?
If Heretics start a Baron and Fnatic steal it, Fnatic will win the game.
Okay.
In both of their games so far, they have stolen a Baron and then won the game.
Okay.
So if Fnatic start the Baron, that's a bad sign.
That's a bad
for
sign.
Fnatic.
Okay. Okay, these lane assignments are good. Ebby's bot. He has his TP. He's pushed the wave all the way in.
Oh, Jankos off HP.
Jankos.
Razok, though, locked up in his Q animation. Cyclone
that
coming in
flash.
as well. Tries to go in with the cease and desist, but it's not enough. The stopwatch from Jankos stops the damage from the piercing arrow from Reckless, and that's another kill.
And Razok just gets picked again. We saw him get picked in the bot side jungle. We're seeing him get picked just trying to clear out a ward. He thought that he was safe because Wonder was pushing out top lane. Ebby, though, looking for a fight with Wonder.
Do you win these? So, okay.
I'm just going to assume...
He's got Force of Nature, so he can run away really quickly after Humanoid puts some damage down. 6 stacks,
Oh,
now
no,
he goes in
he's
with
gonna
the all
kill
out.
Humanoid.
No way! Can Kasante just do this? The guy's level 8. Okay, no, he can't.
Varus did help.
The Baron steal is possible already. Oh no, there's
it's
no one
not.
near. The
Razok
Heretics
is
still attack.
dead.
It's okay. Well, Heretics get the Baron in exchange for Ebby's life, and that's a trade the Shrimp will be very happy to make.
Do you know, this is actually called the Huni Baron. Well, technically it's not because there's a jungler dead, but the principle is that you have a champion with TP pushing in a bot lane, 2 people then come to kill that person, and while the 2 people are killing that person, you then do the Baron.
Okay.
This was a very common thing when Huni was on Fnatic in 2015. Fun fact for you there. But yeah, that will be a Baron for Heretics. This has been a very strange game. Let's kind of do a quick recap. Fnatic found themselves with a 2k gold lead pretty early on. They were kind of... There was a couple trades back and forth overall, but Fnatic were punishing some pretty significant mistakes. Heretics overcommitted to a Baron that while they did get it, they ended up losing a lot on the map.
Yep.
But then Fnatic got picked a little bit. Wonder was still a monster in the side lane, but it didn't really matter. Bear in mind, there are 2 exposed inhibitors right now for Heretics. Yet Heretics were able to win a single fight, and now Jack Spectre has a GA.
Yep.
Now, the gold advantage is still in favor of Fnatic, but I don't really think it matters.
Yeah, 1,000 gold at this point, I really don't think matters too much. The big thing is Wonder is still massive. Like, a 4-item Gwen is still the monster that a 4-item Gwen has always been.
Yeah, but that's a 4-item Zeri.
But Fnatic have 4 members on the top side of the map here, and that's an open inhibitor. Jack Spectre's going to try and open up the mid lane, and he'll do exactly that with the Baron buff. Vector's trying to defend against it, but he really can't do too much. Healing from the Immortal Shurbo will top Jack Spectre back up. Now, Humanoid is waiting. Does Humanoid Realm Warp him when they try and fight Wonder? I think the answer is yes. Does this happen in the mid lane as well? Yes, Jack Spectre's
going to die?
He just goes into the GA. There's no one here to defend him. Heretics sent everyone back to try and deal with Wonder. And it's a trade of shutdowns, 2 for 1 in favor of Heretics.
I just need a second to process.
Okay,
hang on.
man.
Hang on. I'm sure.
Do you want me just to do some talking while you process?
Well, just do the dragon thing. You know.
Yeah,
the
so
15
Dragon up in 15 seconds will be sold for Fnatic. Soul point for Heretics. Now, Heretics did just lose their AD carry, but there's only 40 seconds on him. Humanoid up in 40, Wonder as well. They both have TP, so they'll be able to get to the fight a little bit quicker. And
Where did Jack Spectre think Razork was?
maybe top side?
And what was the plan top lane?
Oh, Ebby's TPing in, let's go! Okay, let's not!
He's
Chain of
ghosting.
Gotcha. He's ghosting for it. Master flashes, reckless flashes. The dragon, however, will be secured.
Yeah, okay.
Clean.
I mean, that's true and based. I'm just... Okay, so, couple things.
Yes.
Let's just do kind of a recap of that thing that happened a moment ago.
Okay.
That kind of silenced me. Humanoid and Wonder, their logic is we're going to trade an inhibitor while Heretics with the Baron push mid.
Yes.
Okay? That I can get on board with.
Also, if Abby answers, Humanoid can Realm Warp in and they win the 2 for 1.
Sure. That I get.
Sure.
But then, what surprised Fnatic was they were like, wait a minute, everyone is in our base.
Apart from...
But Jack Spectra should have known that was happening, which then makes me wonder, what? Oh, we're getting a replay. Okay, cool. So, yeah, so you can see that Ruby goes back to base here, and if he had kept pushing bot, I think they would have been fine. And like, I really don't think he needed to come back here, but he does come back here. They end up getting 2 kills, and like, this catches Fnatic off guard because they're like, why would they not be pushing into our base?
Yep.
And then Jack Spectra's just pushing alone. So, I mean, I guess it ends up being an even trade overall, but Heretics walk away with the Dragon. In any case, Ebi's now in danger.
No Ghost, because remember he used it earlier, trying to get away from this, but already he's chunked down to half HP. All out going in as well. Jack Spectra going in with the Lightning Crash. Some damage with the Emperor's Divide as well. Ruby tries to get on the backline. Wonder now trying to do what he can, but he's already fallen. Ruby goes down as well, but Rux and Razorg are bleeding, ticking away. Jankos dives in. There's another as Rux goes down. Now Humanoid the next target, and he will fall too. Razorg trying to escape, but Jankos not going to let him. In the end, only Reckless stands. The final Fnatic hope you feel here. He charges up an arrow. He can't kill off Jack Spectra. He tries to get away from Jankos, but he will not escape today. The shutdown to Jankos, and Heretics get the ace.
And it's just another 5v5 fight, and what a beautiful ultimate from Ruby, landing onto, I think, 3, 4, maybe even 5 members, just completely tore apart this Fnatic lineup. But with those death timers, Heretics is looking to end the game.
Who is up? Wonder in 17 seconds.
Yeah, I don't know if they can actually end.
I think it's
just
doubling
yet.
inhib angle. Ebi tanking the tower here. Will at least be the mid inhib. The bot inhib is going to fall as well. Rux
I think
up.
they should recall. Yeah.
I agree with you, Betty. They will do exactly that. As soon as they split their focus, you have to feel they were aiming to go back. Baron up in a minute, and we'll have another look at that bot lane.
Yeah, so
fight.
if we can also get some slow-mo observers when we actually do get to see Ruby's ultimate. The initial idea here from Fnatic is really good, but watch what Ebi does here. He shields up, ults away to create space, and then keep track of Ruby in the fight. I'm trying to find him myself. Able to dash in from the backline, completely catches Fnatic off guard. 4 members end up getting hit, and this just creates so much space for Jack Spectra to tear apart this Fnatic lineup. Reckless is doing what he can from the back lines, but the threat that is this Varus is just so much weaker than it was compared to earlier in the game. The Rise doesn't quite have the range to match the damage that's coming out from Heretics. And now finally Heretics have found themselves with the gold lead.
It's the power of the Unbreakable as well. Anathema's chains finished on Mercer. Wouldn't be surprised if that's on Humanoid at all, just to reduce any of that damage coming out. Could of course be on Reckless as well. There's a few targets that you could prioritize here. Now, Fnatic going to try and step forward towards this Baron. Vision Denial, the name of the game. Baron started by Heretics, already down to 6,000 HP. Razorg trying to get in the pit. Is he gonna steal it all? Ruby takes it instead. Razorg cease and desists. Jack Spectra, but he's not really gonna be able to do too much. And Emperor's Divide on the backline as Ebi distracts 3 members of Fnatic. Jack Spectra on a killing spree as Razorg will fall. Ebi in the midst of 4 is unkillable, unstoppable. Cassante delivering presence to Team Heretics. Call him Cassanta because he is delivering the win.
Heretics with another massive team fight, and they just played the fight beautifully. I thought the Wonder was going to decimate Heretics on the back line, but a good ultimate once again from Ruby stops him from getting onto the back line, and it secures the team fight win for Heretics. They're looking to go 3-3. They're looking to bring back this game and secure a massive win over Fnatic.
What a win it would be. Gets them out of that danger zone on their way to the group stage. Fnatic, though, after an early lead, still trying to hang on to some sort of hope. They do still have strong carries. Rise and Gwen at this stage in the game are nothing to be trifled with. The chain of corruption coming out, but Fnatic's Nexus towers are under siege and they have fallen. Wonder pops the stopwatch, but pop goes the Nexus. Team Heretics claim the victory.
What a chaotic game from both sides. But at the end of the day, Heretics, they stayed true to their win condition. Jack Spectra needs to be given so much credit for that win. His individual play off the back of that single target focus that came down in the river was monumental in swinging the game back in Heretics' favor. The fact that they were able to win that fight, they were able to stabilize the game, was so crucial for them to buy a little bit more time and then turn the game into a win. Well played by Heretics. I think that it was good to see a strong early game from Fnatic.
Yep.
I was pleasantly surprised with what they were able to do. We got to see Humanoid unlocked on the map just a little bit. We got to see Fnatic with some firm control. But then play after player, Razorg getting picked here and there. Things just slowly started to fall apart. Fnatic couldn't maintain that control. and Heretics was quick to pounce.
Yeah, a few messy teamfights in the mid game, causing Fnatic to stumble and fall. Heretics very happy, obviously, with their win. 3-3 now, as you say. Gets them away from the bottom of the pack, from Astralis, from XL. Heretics next week have XL, Mad Lions, and BDS to play, so not an easy route for them towards that group stage. Fnatic have Mad Lions, Astralis, and SK, so nor an easy route for them. SK at the moment on a tear. And obviously Mad Lions sitting up near the top of the table as well. Your player of the game votes at LEC on Twitter, Ebby, Ruby, and Jack Spectra. I think you can make a case for all three of them. Jack Spectra had a few spectacular moments. Ruby with that slide and glide into that final team fight, or team fight before last, I guess. And then Ebby, just, he was so down in the dirt, man. That guy was like 2.5K down the entire game.
Yep.
And still had a massive impact when it came towards the later portions of the match.
He's like, assuming that the stat is right, like again, I don't have the up-to-date stats, but he's got
I can
3 wins of the 5 wins that Cassante now has in LEC.
Yeah, we can look it up. We'll just keep talking.
Excuse me.
I can't look it up. We have to pass it over, apparently. So
We do have to pass it over.
I was going to look up stats, but instead, what is more important than an interview with Jack Spectra? Trouble standing by.
Thank you so much, Medic, and thank you, Jack Spectra, for joining me. Congratulations, of course, on the win. And honestly, what a journey it has been for you, especially with 2022 being a little bit, for roller coaster, going through the motions. Now, bringing down huge names in the scene.
Yeah.
How does this feel for you?
I mean, it feels really good. I mean, Reckless was one of the players I was really excited to play versus. Even aside from everything that happened with the whole K-Corp thing, he's been a player that I always looked up to, and I think he's the most accomplished ADC in the West. So he's been someone that I always thought he has such a crazy work ethic and the results he's shown. So being able to play on the same stage as him and beat him is very cool.
Well, it just shows how much of a work ethic you have to try and get here and do that and get that result yourself. Now, yesterday was the day before. You were talking with the desk.
Yeah,
and you were chatting about a lot of the social media pressure coming out.
Yeah.
And this is something that a lot of players don't talk about, because behind the player, there's a brand, there's a name, there's social media, there's growing your influence and your viewers and how they see you.
Yeah.
And how has that affected you being now on the big stage?
It's been tough. I think especially there comes a point where you know that people are saying negative things even without reading it. It's some weird thing your mind does. Like if you play bad, you know that everybody will say that you played bad, even if you don't go out of your way of reading it. And I think after yesterday, at first it felt fine because it was okay, we got stomped. And then I rewatched the game and oh my God, that was painful. I could not sleep. I think I slept, not enough tonight or last night. After rewatching that and seeing the basic mistakes we did or that I did, and all that I could think about was how I wanted to play it again. And if I did, I feel we would have had a different result.
Yeah, I'm glad the adrenaline got you through today to get that big W. And it's really nice to just hear the perspective about how a lot of the times, how social media does affect the player who's trying to grow the brand, who's just made it here on the LEC for the very first time. Now, talking about social media and influence, I wanted to ask you about something very serious. Jankos went on to Euphoria.
Yeah.
And he said something that I wasn't expecting to hear. He's the only player to take out the rubbish because no one else does.
Well, today I did it.
What?
So?
No.
Maybe that's why we won. But yeah, he leads by example and we must follow his example.
Okay, how many examples do you guys need to follow his example?
It's been a bit too many, I think. So we need to pick it up. Language barrier or something.
All right, thank you very much, Jankos, for helping the team grow in that environment. And let's talk about the final week that's just coming up, because this is very important for you guys. You are now 3-3.
Yeah.
Technically, you need to be on that 4
Yeah.
mark to say, we're almost there. So how do you feel about next week? You've got XL, MAD, and BDS.
Yeah, if you told me week 1 that it would be next week, looking forward, that it would be XL, the team that I'm thinking is going to be the easiest, and BDS maybe the hardest, then I'd call you crazy. But it's been a weird season so far. But I think that we've shown a very up and down ride. But I think now with a week of practice that we can continue improving. And I think we'll be able to, at least make top 8 and ideally get a 3-0 week and then finish with a pretty decent showing.
I hope you guys can. Now tell me what is one thing that you would take, for example, from this week that you guys have done well to apply to the next one so you can get these results.
I think we've found a clear identity on how we want to play, on how we want to draft. I think when, like, none of us have ever played with each other before. So I think we had kind of more work to do than some of the teams where there were already pre-existing synergies or like even whole rosters that were nearly the same. So I think we're kind of still learning. I wouldn't say like we're perfect, but this week has been like a learning phase where I think we kind of tunneled on one idea of the game too much in the beginning, and now we're open to more things and learning each other better.
Love this for you guys, and I wish you best of luck for next week. Jack Spector, again, congratulations, and thank you so much for joining me. And as for us, we'll be on a very short break, but don't go anywhere because there's PGL with Law, Yamato Cannon, and Jankos, and he can talk more about all the things he does for Heretics that the other players don't in the house.